This fight could easily be called Big and Bigger. Big Daddy Gary Goodridge weighing somewhere in the vicinity of 260 pounds. He's from Ontario, Barrie, Canada. 6'3". He's going to be facing Tom Erikson from the USA, who weighs a solid 280 pounds. Erikson is undefeated in mixed martial arts. The closest thing to a defeat was a draw against Murilo Bustamante, and that happened in 1996, Murilo Bustamante being one of the Carlson Gracie jiu-jitsu disciples. Well, we've seen two other big men on this card in Mark Coleman versus Ricardo Moraes. Coleman, the wrestler, got the win in that one. Does Gary Goodridge have a chance at knocking out Tom Erikson, boss?
Yes, he does, for sure. He throws a bomb. If Tom Erikson is not going to take him down right away. Gary's here to fight again, both of them. Whoa!
See, this is so much different than the Coleman-Moraes fight. Erikson coming out with that right over, under, again and again. What a shootout here. Really fun. Erikson going for the side choke. It's the headlock.
He's going to put an arm lock in. If he can put it under his arm, under his knee, the back of his knee of his left knee, he might have it.
That was more action in the first 30 seconds of this fight than we saw in the entire Coleman-Moraes fight.
Oh, Gary should have grabbed his legs, hands together, and switched him to the right. Oh, this is dangerous, man. A guy like that on top. He's hitting the canvas, actually. He doesn't hit Gary. He doesn't really hit him. Gary should get out there.
But Tom Erikson is staying busy. It was the early part of this fight where Erikson kept throwing the right hand and the right uppercut over and over. He seems primarily a right-handed puncher so far. Gary's got the guard now.
Erikson's using the crossface, pushing him away.
He's grinding that forearm down on Gary's neck from the side.
Whoa! That's a hole there.
Yeah, put a hole right in the canvas.
Maybe full in.
We've seen earthquakes, but Tom Erikson hitting the canvas, I felt that one.
4.1. Yeah, you felt the table was here, but my drink almost fell down. He's going to sweep him. I don't think so.
I don't think he's going to sweep 280-pound Tom Erikson. Gary slapping away. But it was Gary who came out with the low kick and initiated the punching exchange, but Erikson got the best of him at the early part of the round, and that's a rare thing to see. Gary usually gets the best of people standing up.
Yeah. I think
Come on, hit me.
He should.
Hit me, baby. Please hit me.
Gary is saying, please hit me.
Come on. How about a kiss?
How about a kiss?
Gary outwardly taunting Tom Erikson. Most people would have thought to get
you want to hit me?
Right. To get Tom Erikson wound up, I mean, why would he want to make Tom Erikson hit him more?
Yeah, I can't see it, but maybe it's psychological warfare right there.
You think he's going to try and get Tom Erikson rattled, Tom Erikson out of his game, thus Tom Erikson will get tired?
I think that, yes, maybe he does. Yeah. And I think Gary should just try to go for an armbar.
You hit harder than that?
Oh, can you not hit harder than that? That's not a nice thing to say.
There's one thing.
Whoa.
One thing I've always liked about. He's going for a knee bar there. One thing I've always liked about Gary Goodridge. Gary Goodridge knows about the show aspect. of mixed martial arts. He's one of the best interviews, one of the best pre-fight interviews. He will talk some trash sometimes.
Yeah, that's what people want to see. It's cool. It's cool. He's doing good.
But here he is in the ring with an undefeated giant in Tom Erikson, saying you can hit harder than that and taunting him outwardly.
Yeah, and I don't know if that's a real smart thing to do with Tom Erikson. Because if by any chance Tom Erikson is going to get side control, that's going to be danger, danger, danger.
Yeah, this game plan will self-destruct.
You see, this will be perfect for the armbar. You see this?
That's it, Daddy. Yes, 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 yes.
Still, you know, if his neck cranks, skip the hips out.
Whenever you're ready. Whenever you're ready, Daddy. Whenever you're ready. Whenever you're ready. This is these. Oh!
It looks like Gary is having the time of his life here.
Yeah.
Can't hurt you, Daddy. In the center.
Yeah, he should go for armbar. Look at this. Hammer. Like you do to the back of the head of a Rottweiler. Good boy, good boy. He should start throwing his bombs. Gary got such strong bombs, even from this position. I want to see those.
But really, have you ever seen Gary Goodridge in the ring with someone bigger than him?
Never.
And Erikson outweighs him by a good 30 pounds, easily.
Oh, yeah. There we go.
Stand right up. Gary, set himself up.
Stay his head. Don't reach for his head. Put your hands on his biceps.
But still, striking power, Gary has more than Tom Erikson. More straight punch, better technique.
Well, yeah, because he's trained in boxing. Erikson came up in wrestling, you know, being from the Real American Wrestling training team. But he does try to throw strikes. That's the thing.
He's patting him the back now. What is he doing? I think he's setting him up for something.
He's not doing anything, Gary. Breathe. Use your heel. Use your heel, Gary.
Do you think it's possible that Gary, as crazy as this may sound, is not taking this fight? Oh, a side choke from the bottom is not going to work. It's not going to work. Erikson's too strong. He's got gravity on his side. Do you think that Gary possibly is not taking Erikson seriously?
No, I think it's very difficult. He knows that it's very difficult for him to win this fight because Erikson is undefeated. And
no one wants to fight Erikson. I know it. Yeah. Nobody wants to fight him.
So that's why he's just showing Erikson, no, this is dangerous. If you can get the side, that's dangerous. This is also dangerous, half guard. Because now he can create some power.
Well, one thing that no one could ever say about Gary Big Daddy Goodridge is that he ducked a tough fight. Here he is in with a man that every fighter in the heavyweight division has avoided.
Look at the Kimura. Oh, no.
But he gave it up.
Okay.
But every fighter in the heavyweight division has avoided Tom Erikson. But Gary Goodridge, on the other hand, has never avoided anyone. He fought Don Fry twice. He fought Mark Coleman. He fought Oleg Taktarov, Marco Huas, Igor Vovchanchin, Naoya Ogawa. It's like the who's who of the top heavyweights in mixed martial arts. You got to say, Gary gets a lot of credit for that. Win or lose, he comes out there in a rage. The audience here in Japan love him.
Oh, yeah.
His entrance is something to behold.
Yep. No, he's there to fight. Uh-oh. This can become dangerous.
The thing is, a lot of fighters, if they were to fight Tom Erikson, they would fight just to survive. But I think Gary is fighting to win, but Erikson is only giving him the choice to fight to survive because of the way he's dominating him right now.
Yeah, that's true.
Because he's just dominating strength-wise, position-wise. He's throwing more strikes at this moment, even though Gary, as you said, is probably the more accomplished striker. It doesn't matter if he doesn't throw strikes back or if he's not in a position to throw strikes.
Yeah, that's true. Gary here to get out of this. Yeah, he cannot make it, but otherwise he just should bridge. See, Tom should train on strikes from the top, because obviously
That's where he's going to end up in almost any fight. I can't imagine a fight, even if he fought Ricardo Moraes. Coleman ended up on top of Moraes.
yeah.
And Coleman is lighter than Tom Erikson by at least 40 pounds.
That's a better shot. That was a good shot. That was nice. That was nice. But that's a number I've never seen before in my life. Yeah, he started to strike harder.
Well, Gary stopped talking to him, so maybe Gary is planning something.
Yeah, or he needs the air.
Okay, Gary jumps up like no problem and struts back to his corner. A very defiant Gary Goodridge. To me, Gary Goodridge is all about entertainment.
He is the man.
Look, Gary's walking around the ring right now.
Yeah, just to show Tom Erikson. Everything is to psych him out. Talking to him, laughing to him, and now he's walking around the ring. I'm not tired. You're going to get him, man, next round. That's it. Tom Erikson may think, ooh, what did I start?
Well, you know, they said when Muhammad Ali faced Sonny Liston, okay, here we go in the replay. They came out in a rage, folks, and they traded, but it was Erikson who seemed to get the better of the exchanges, especially when he trapped with that left hand and threw that uppercut.
Yeah, it's the
that right hand
trick.
Yeah, it's like a Greco-Roman thing, to where they trap and they control, but a lot of those punches didn't land cleanly, especially on the chin with that uppercut, and then Erikson got that takedown, and Gary was taunting him throughout. Here we go with that uppercut over. A lot of people would say that when Muhammad Ali fought Sonny Liston was a fearful opponent. No one wanted to fight him. He knocked everybody out. He scared people to death. But when Muhammad Ali wasn't afraid of him, it made him fold. But he was a bully mentality. Tom Erikson, even though he's big, is not a bully mentality type guy. He's just a straight-ahead athletic sportsman, grinding away here on Gary Goodridge. Gary Goodridge was just taking punch after punch in this fight. But the thing is Gary is trying to get under his skin, trying to get him to be afraid. It's not working.
No, it's not working right now. But maybe after this, when he stood up, look, he's getting tired. We saw it by the way he was punching Gary at the end of the round. They were falling on him. Not real power anymore. Gary jumped up, walked away. I got enough power.
Okay, but Gary
that can be in your head.
I think Gary is going to throw some punches at the beginning of this fight. Gary's starting with a low kick every round. Gary with that right hand grazing. Oh, they almost went out of the ring. Gary pulling guard.
He didn't like that kick, Gary. He didn't like that kick. He's just as tired as you, Gary. Give it to him. He didn't like that
I think that they're probably going to stay in this position for a while unless they restart him standing. And that is entirely up to these gentlemen on the ground. If they get busy and start slapping or punching, Gary's just slapping. Why he would do this, he would seem like he would want to lock him up and wait for a restart.
It's something that has no effect whatsoever, so there's no reason to do this.
Your tools. Use what you know.
Well, his corner is saying use your tools. If I were his corner man, I would say lock him up, wait for a restart, throw the right hand.
That's it. He comes in to grab you, pow.
Or throw the low kick, because they said that he didn't like the low kick, and Gary landed that low kick. It wasn't even blocked.
Yeah, it was good low kick, by the way. Yeah. See, I did this. He should go for armbar, I'm telling you. Just try it. Because he is so big, probably never anybody tried an armbar on Erikson.
Well, Murillo Bustamante did, actually, when they fought.
Oh, yeah?
And he narrowly escaped.
Okay.
But Murillo was working from the bottom, from the guard, punching upward, and he tried a couple of different moves. But Erikson, because of his training with Rico Ciapparelli, was able to escape.
Okay, because Bustamante is somebody special too, man. This guy.
Yes, he is.
Hold that wrist back and come with your right. Hold the wrist back and come with your right.
Use your legs, Gary.
Use your legs. Just
Push him
just-
back.
just-
You know what we
just-
did. You know what to do.
Knees and feet, Gary. Knees and feet. Knees and feet, Gary.
Erickson has gone into a cocoon in this fight as far as his striking is concerned.
You know what to do.
You know, you mentioned that he looked tired at the beginning of the round.
Yeah.
I think you're right.
He should hit him out to the side, full power. That's it.
Good
That's
shot.
it. That's it. That's it.
Gary Goodridge digging that right hand to the ear of Big Tom Erikson.
Oh, no. He should have kept hitting him. Wow.
Because you don't want to have Erikson mounted on top of you. Chances are good he wouldn't get him off.
Relax, Big Daddy.
Relax, Daddy. Relax.
Bide your time, Gary. You're doing fine.
You're doing great, Daddy. You're doing great.
In the ribs, in the ribs. There you go, in the ribs. Right in the ribs.
Your knee up. Your knee up now. Bring your ankle to his butt. Your right
Stretch
ankle.
him out. Stretch him out, Gary.
Right ankle.
The ribs, Gary. The ribs. There. The ribs.
Your right ankle on his butt.
Come on,
Right
Gary.
ankle. Put your
Keep
knee
in the
up.
guard, Gary. Keep in the guard. Keep in the
You know
guard.
what to do.
In the guard. Keep in the guard, Gary. He's got nothing. He's got nothing. Nothing, Gary. Keep in the guard. Keep in the guard.
There's not a lot happening here.
Six minutes left.
He's got nothing. He's got nothing. He's got nothing. In the guard. Keep in the guard. That's just a hug.
Now, this is the time that we have to
Thank you, Gary.
to the ref. Okay, that was on action already. Let him get up. Put him up, ref. Put him up.
I think you're right, boss. I think it's time for a restart.
Keep in the guard, Gary. Keep in the guard.
Whether we're going to get it or not, we don't know.
Okay, I shall call. Yo, ref.
Maybe the referee is thinking, well, these guys are pretty big. I don't think I want to like tell them to stand up.
No, but we make sure. I will tell him that you said it. It was you screaming.
Okay, boss. That sounds
Come
good.
on, Gary.
Hey, ref, put him up.
Breathe.
He looked at you. The ref looked at you.
He hears
He
me,
looked over,
but
but now he's looking at me. When? No, you don't understand. No, it was him. The old guy.
hey, watch the fight, okay?
He's in the guard. He's in the guard, Gary. He's in the guard. You okay, Gary? You're doing fine, Gary. You're doing fine.
Fine, Gary.
You're fine, Gary.
Can't hurt you, Gary.
There's the jaw push. Cross back. Uh-oh.
Don't want to give that arm up like that because Erikson could do a side choke, and that is in his repertoire.
And that is combined with a lot of power. Oh no, he's putting it back. Why would he do that?
Come on, Gary.
You're fine, Gary. You're fine, Gary.
Oh, Erikson should jump out to the other side.
Punch in those ribs, Gary. Keep in the guard.
Well, at this rate, it's going to be a no-brainer. It would be an Erikson fight.
Yeah. 5 more minutes. 5 minutes passed. 5 minutes to go. Yeah, I think it's a wise decision, ref. Come on.
5 minutes.
You're okay. You're okay. Breathe, Gary. Breathe.
Over top of that. Over top.
Nothing happens.
Can't do anything, Gary.
Can't
On
hurt
the side.
you, Gary.
On the side. See? You go inside, Gary. You can't do anything.
No, nothing happens.
That's it, Gary. That's the way, Gary. Keep in and around. In and around. That's it, Gary. Keep time up. Time up. That's it, Gary. Inside. That's it. There you go. You're doing great. You're doing great.
You're doing it, Gary. Keep going.
He's got nothing. Stand him up. He's got nothing. Stand him up.
Gary Goodridge is getting 2 different sets of instructions yelled at him, but it really hasn't had any effect on his fighting at all. Although,
In the guard. He's in the guard.
got the full guard now.
Gary should try to put his feet on the hips of Tom Erikson and push him away. Try. I'm not going to say it's going to work, but like this, nothing is going to work. No, don't move. Get him up.
I think that is one way to deal with it. I think another way would be lock the guard, do a double overhook, lock the arms, and just wait for the referee to stand him back up. Even if he took a yellow card, he's behind anyway. He needs a knockout to win this fight, or at least to really punish Erikson. And he's not going to get on top of Erikson and ground and pound him. That's not going to happen. I think he should lock up his arm and maybe take a yellow card, but stand back up and try and knock him
Pull
out.
down deep.
Yeah, that would be the best thing.
Inside. You got it.
Get deep.
Gary, got you right inside.
Let him stop, Gary. Let him stop.
Those punches they should forbid.
Gary, 3 minutes.
Forbid.
Stand him up. Stand him up. Come on, he's not doing nothing.
The hammer fist.
Yeah, from 2 inch distance. So this is it.
But those are big shots
But
by
that's it.
Erikson.
That's the way to punch. That's the way to go. Now he's working. He's trying something.
You got your knees when he comes up, Gary. You got your knee when he comes up again. He's getting set for it. You got the tools, Gary. You got the tools. Get your knees. When he comes up for it.
I think he got a
Comes up. He's got nothing. Gary.
Go ahead, say it.
Louisville slugger hit him. He got the tools, like in the back of his trunk.
Stand him up.
Last
Oh,
2 minutes,
he's
Gary.
going for the
Last
second.
2 minutes.
Gary, when he comes up, use your knees, Gary. Get your knees in when he stands up.
2 minutes, Tom, come on. Last 2 minutes.
Okay, if Erikson
Stand him up.
wins the fight,
Last 2 minutes.
what does that prove? And then what does that mean? And does it mean that people are going to want to see him fight again? Or does it mean that other fighters are going to say, okay, great, I want to fight Erikson?
You keep going,
No,
Gary.
no, nobody wants to fight Erikson because it's like this. You cannot really fight. He's real good at control, and he's going to be on top. And but it's this is what he should do. This is what you do. Pass the guard, hit. But it has been a long time, I think, since his last fight. Or no, it's like was it 1.5 years ago. Yeah, so that's a pretty long time.
Last minute and a half, Gary.
You can do it, Daddy. You can do it. You got
Pull
it.
down deep. Get down deep.
I think it's a situation where Erikson is coming in only as a sportsman, whereas a guy like Gary Goodridge is a showman. Whether Gary Goodridge wins or loses, people want to know about him. They want to hear his interviews. They want to see him get in and carry on and taunt the other fighter.
Less than a minute.
Whereas Erikson is probably a pretty mellow guy, family man, and he may win the fight in this manner, but there's nothing outrageous about him in a show sense that would make him promotable over here in Japan. What do you think?
I think you're exactly right, Steven. I think he has to, but maybe also probably due of his, the ring that he's been out of the ring. Maybe because all his fights, all the former fights. Let me see. He has 1 draw, and the rest it's all TKO, submission, TKO, KO, TKO. You see?
Okay, that's the end of this marathon of laying.
Yeah.
And Erikson did a lot from the top, though. He was constantly busy, and near the end, at the beginning of this round, he didn't do much. But that whole first round, he was pounding away on Gary Goodridge, and he really gave it a great effort. I think if Erikson wishes to continue in the sport of mixed martial arts, though, he's got to diversify his attack, and there's got to be some sort of a catch, a hook to Erikson. Because, I mean, obviously because of the size thing, it's impressive. Tom Erikson does get the win, and he was exciting in that first round. But then after he couldn't take Gary Goodridge out, it got a little slow. But a great guy, a classy guy, Tom Erikson gets the win. And he gets congratulations from Gary Goodridge's corner.
Yeah, and who's next? Who's next for Tom Erikson? That's going to be my big question here at the Pride.
It would have to be Ricardo Moraes.
Yeah, I think so too. That would be.
That's 2 big giant guys, both 280, 300 pounds. The wrestler against the jiu-jitsu guy. But how exciting would that fight be?
Yeah, we don't know. Ricardo got. Yeah, I know they got about equal punching skills, but Ricardo may stop a little bit his takedown. Maybe not in the beginning, but later on. He didn't show any signs. He did show signs of fatigue against Coleman.